what is the FDA's advice to everyone who is going into the markets to buy food? Of course, it's a part of our Christmas celebration. We'll be cooking a lot, and also buying other things, drinks, among others. What should we do?
Okay, so in times like this, we expect that consumers will be extra careful and cautious about whatever they go to buy on the market. Because like we all know, we are in a very difficult financial situation. So the last thing you would want to do is to spend your money on something that you cannot use. So we expect that our consumers will be extra vigilant in everything they lay their hands on to purchase. So among others, the very first thing that you should check is the labeling of the product. And to be able to check or read the labeling, it should be in English. So we expect that everybody wants to go out there to go and buy any product, make sure whatever you are buying is labeled in English, such that you can read and understand exactly what you are buying. You can read and know exactly what you are buying. Sometimes certain things look like other things, and we are tempted to believe that it is what we are seeing, but it may not be what it is. So to be sure of what you are going to get, to be able to read it well lettered, well written in English. Once you're able to take that decision that, okay, this is English, I know I'm buying peanuts, I know I'm buying X product, I'm buying Y product, then you can take a decision. Beyond the English writing, you must also look for the date marking on the product so that you can determine whether the product is expired or not. So you must look for the expired, at least if you don't see any, you look for anything at all, you must get to know the expiry date of the product. And let me caution our consuming public that there is no grace period for any expired product. There is no grace period for any expired product. Sometimes we are tempted to believe that when the product is expired, we have got 3 months, others say 6 months, others say whatever. But it is not true. Once they are expired, it means that the manufacturer of the product says that beyond this date, you cannot use it. So if you use it and there is any complications, you cannot blame the manufacturer of the product for that. So let us be cautious about the expiry date. And then the last thing I may want to add at this point is that we shouldn't buy products that has been exposed to direct sunshine, because the direct sunshine has a tendency of overcooking the product, or sometimes making the product go bad, even beyond, or it may not be the time of expiry, but because they've been exposed to direct sunshine repeatedly, they have a tendency of making the product go bad. So when they do, the date may be intact, but because of the exposure to the sunshine, the product will be expired or will be poisonous before the date of expiration marked on the product. And then we all know about canned products. So whether it is a canned milk, canned fish, canned whatever it is, we should check the product. We should be sure it is not dented. We should ensure it is not bloated. We should ensure it is not having any rust on it. Because sometimes we see these dentations, we see these rust, we see other things on the product, and then we are tempted to believe that it is just nothing. The dent is an indication that the product is no more safe for you to use. Because if you open any canned or tin product, you see that there is a yellowish paint-like substance that has been used in lining the product. Once they dent, the tendency of the protection that the tin has in peeling off, and sometimes even mixing with the product, and they are not things that we should be able to consume in our system. So if we can check the labeling of the product to know the English, if we can check the expiry date. If they are canned products, we will check for dentation, we will check for bloat, we will check for rust. And if they are not exposed under sunshine, we can be sure that maybe the product may be safe. And then we want to look for the FDA registration number if they are locally manufactured products, so that you can be sure you are buying something safe for consumption this Christmas.
And for canned products that look out of shape, most of the times the explanation is that it's mishandling. That perhaps when they were transporting it, they were not handled properly. and that's how come it is beaten out of shape and is looking the way it is. So, can we take those explanations?
No, don't take any explanation for any canned product that is looking out of shape. If you put the can there, it should look straight and there should be no form of deformation on the product. So if you see that it's suffering from any shock or any blow, then it means that something might have hit the product, which will cause the product to go out of shape. And like I told you earlier on, these canned products have got lining in the tin before the product is put in them. So when they suffer any of these shocks, whether it is a blow, whether it's a fall or whatever, there's a tendency of the linings in the can peeling off. And when they peel off, the food has a direct contact with the tin, which can lead the food to be poisonous. There are also, one is the peeling that mixes with the food, and you will be eating your milk or your fish or your meat or whatever it is together with the painting, which is not good for your body. That is why we are asking that if it is looking out of shape in any form, please stay away from it. Don't go close to any tin product that is looking out of shape. No explanation should satisfy you in going for that product because the safety of the product is at risk.
And then there's the point where we're talking about expiry dates. Sometimes people use they said the BBD. Is it best by date?
Best before date or best by date. Okay.
Okay. There's a suggestion, like you said, there's always a suggestion that only indicates that, at that time it is in optimum condition. Doesn't mean that you can't eat it maybe a few days after it has expired. You're saying that as if you find out, even that the food expired a day before, don't buy it at all.
Exactly, because like you said, if the explanation they are giving, should we be hold them by it, which is not true anyway, why do you want to go and buy a product which is not at its optimum? Why do you want to buy a product which is not at its best shape? It means that you are risking your life. So I would urge that you rather go for the optimum one, the one that will give you the best performance. So for best buy date or best before date or expiry date, they're the same. It's just semantics. So we want to advise that whether it is best buy, best before, expiry date, once it has gone beyond the date, please don't consume it. Please don't buy it. Usually we are trapped by the promotions they do. So if you buy one, you get some others free, and then we go for them. They are always by the seller to induce you making that decision. But you must be firm in your decision, knowing that this product is expired, or knowing the consumption rate in your house. You know very well that if you buy this, you cannot consume before the expiry date. Please don't buy them, because if you buy and you are tempted to consume it, whether they are in good shape or not, and that will affect the health life of your family, and that will cost you to pay more, because if you go to the hospital, you are going to pay or spend more at the place. So please stay away from any tricks or gimmicks that may lure you into taking a decision that will affect the health of the family.
Does the FDA regulate food vending areas, maybe restaurants, shop bars, and places where perhaps they sell drinks, among others? Are you responsible for them? If you are responsible for them, for those who will go out to drink or eat during the Christmas period, what should they watch out for?
Okay, so for like you said, for the restaurants and those well-established eateries, the FDA has been regulating them for a very long time now, and we issue them with a permit. It's called the food hygiene permit. We therefore advise our consuming public that when they go to any of these places, they should ask for the food vending permit of these eateries, so that you can be rest assured that the FDA might have at least inspected the place, and then you are sure of their health standards and the foods that are going to be given. Now, beyond those ones, now we have got our local ones, like those who sell on the roadside, like those who do things in the small places. The FDA, for the past 2 years, has started a process to regulate all those things as well. So if you go to any street food vendor, ask for their street food vending permit. street food vending permit, so that you can be sure once again that the FDA had an interaction with them, they've been educated, and then they've been coached on what to do and what to look out for before they even set up their places. So for the eateries, we are looking for food hygiene permit. And for the street food vendors, those small ones in the corner shops and other places, are looking for the street food vending permit. If you ask for them, you can be rest assured that the FDA has at least inspected their places and then they are safe for you to consume. But even whether the FDA has even been there or not, I want to caution that at least for those of us listening to Radio Go this morning, we should stay away from buying food that are being sold close to a gutter, close to the cemetery, and close to the dumping site. These three places, let's avoid buying food from them. Anybody who is selling any food close to a gutter, close to the dumping site, or close to the cemetery, please avoid them, because these are places where they are condensed with germs, and the risk of you getting any foodborne disease or any foodborne disease, and let me put it that way, or food poisoning is very high. So let us please be careful not to buy from anybody standing close to these three places that I've mentioned.
Yeah, there are suggestions that it is the food by the gutter that's the sweetest.
It is rather a wrong myth or a misconception that over the time we've all bought into. But which has shown that food sold by these places, the gutters, because obviously, like COVID taught us, the germs are in the air. The germs are in the air. So once the germs are in the air and the food is being sold close to the gutter, there's a risk of germs blowing from the gutter or this cemetery or this dumping site directly onto the food. And because you are in a hurry, you don't have time to even go and warm the food again. You are going to consume it like that. And let me also say that there are even some germs who, no matter how hot the food is, they can still survive. So why don't you risk your life in buying things like this? Please. We should all desist from this misconception of the best water being sold by the gutter and go for those who are selling in hygienic places, so that we can be sure that the food we are going to consume this Christmas or whatever period it is safe for us to consume.
Okay, so I also want the last part on this matter is that sometimes you buy the best food, take it to the house, you cook it, and then the next thing you find that you are perhaps suffering food poison, you all of a sudden running tummies among others. What do we do with the food we take home? In what conditions should we be serving those foods?
Okay, so the food we take home, I want to quickly say that there are some foods that must be served hot and eaten hot. These include wachi, like we said, the banku, fufu, all the soup and stews we are going to consume. All these foods should be served hot and eaten hot, in fact, piping hot. So, I mean, you should see vapor coming out of the food at the time of being consumed. Okay? And then there are others like the ice creams and then the salads who must be served cold and eaten cold. Under no condition should anybody eat any salad or any ice cream at room temperatures. They must always be cold and served cold and eaten cold. It's in very simple terms. So at that point, you can be sure that they are safe for you to consume. But in spite of all these, if you still have any challenge, then you may need to call the FDA to come and investigate why the food still went wrong. Because we know that all things being equal, if you put on these measures, it should work. But like I told you earlier, there are some of the germs, no matter the temperature, they're able to survive. So when they survive and have any issue, they may need to contact the FDA, and we can do a deep root cause analysis to establish why those things happen, and then we can take the necessary regulatory actions to forestall its future occurrences.
And let me end before I come to maybe the number they can call. What are you doing yourself to ensure that we don't get to the point where we find expired products on the market to even go to the extent of buying it?
Okay, so what the FDA is doing, what we do regularly is that we have intensified our market surveillance systems. But during Christmas like this, we intensify such that even all the admin staff, everybody from secretary to the security, everybody is going out there to do inspections. to ensure that we can get the market rid of any product that may damage the health of consumers. So if you go to our market, you will see the FDA officers who are properly branded in our jackets, who are having our tags, who are inspecting the various shops, the various issues in the market to make sure that whatever our consuming public will go out there to go and buy would be safe for consumption. And then we're also doing our public education like I'm doing with you right now. So at least even if anything should slip our eye, the consumer will be empowered enough to take a decision that will enable them to stay safe after Christmas. So we are doing this combination of events to ensure that the public is properly protected during times like this, because we know how risky the market can get in situations like this. Yes.
In case of anything, what number can because you said in case something happens, we should call the FDA.
Yes.
How can we reach you?
Okay, so if you want to reach the FDA for any food poisoning situation or anything that is related to our mandate, you can call the FDA on 055 111 2224. The number again is 055 111 2224. This number is on WhatsApp, so you can either call the number or you can send a WhatsApp. There are officers on standby who will quickly give you responses so that you can properly be protected, or you can take the actions that you must take. So once you call any of these, this number, we can get you. We're also on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere. Just look for FDA Ghana. You see us there, and then once you give us a message or you give us the hint, we'll take the actions and we'll protect your identity to make sure that nobody harms you from the information you have given us. Let me say that way.
Well, Ghana is listening to you. What is the FDA's message to every consumer this Christmas?
So our message to everybody is that Merry Christmas to everybody, Happy New Year. We pray that we all stay safe, we all stay healthy, so that we can work to push the frontiers of our country forward. But we can only do that if we are eating well, if we are taking all the right decisions in terms of our food and our medicines, so that we can survive this tide and then be able to go beyond and then get Ghana to the pedestal our forebearers envisaged for us. So we want to ask that everybody will be careful with what they are eating or consuming, so that we can survive this and then move to the next step. And Ghana will be better for all of us.
Richard ABROKWAH, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Richard ABROKWAH is Head Media Relations Unit, FDA, speaking to us on the Gold Morning Conversation. If you just joined us.